On this video, I'm going to be looking at the healing of the demoniac, of the Gerasene demoniac. I'm continuing a harmony of the gospel that I have been doing. And we're following through A.T. Robertson's book of tracking the life of Christ through this harmony. So we are at Mark chapter 5, verses 1 to 20. And they came to the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gerasenes. And when he was come out of the boat, straightway there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling in the tombs, and no man could any more bind him, no, not even with a chain, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been torn asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces, and no man had strength to tame him. We're looking at a demoniac indwelt by a demon, living in the tombs, and having this strength that no one could tame. And always, night and day, in the tombs and in the mountains, he was crying out and cutting himself with stones. And when he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and worshipped him. And crying out with a loud voice, he says, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, you Son of the Most High God? I adjure you by God, torment me not." For he said to him, "Come forth, you unclean spirit, out of the man." And he asked him, "What is your name?" That is Jesus asking the demon, "What is your name?" And he says unto him, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And in other words, not just one demon was in this man, but many. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was on the mountainside a great herd of swine feeding, and they asked him, saying, "Send us into the swine, that we may enter into them." And he gave them permission, and the unclean spirits came out and entered into the swine. And the herd rushed down the steep into the sea, in number about 2,000. Think of that. That many were indwelling that men. And they were choked in the sea. And they had fed them, and they that had fed them, that is, the swine, fled and told it in the city and in the country. And they came to see what it was that had come to pass. And they came to Jesus, and behold him, and saw him, we should say, that was possessed with the devil, sitting, clothed, and in his right mind, even he who had the legion of demons. And they were afraid. And they that saw it declared unto them how it befell him that was possessed with devils, and concerning the swine. And they began to ask him to depart from their borders. And as he was entering into the boat, he that had been possessed with devils or demons asked him that he might be with him. And he did not permit him, but said unto him, "Go to your house, unto your friends, and tell them how great things the Lord has done unto you, and how he had mercy on you." And he went his way and began to publish in Decapolis how great things Jesus had done for him, and all men marveled. Isn't it interesting that Jesus here, as we see in his life, is experiencing this encounter with a man that had multiple demons, and he cast them out by a word. And the demons are afraid of Jesus. So, one of the things that this teaches us is that Jesus has authority over demons, and also the reality of demons. Often people deny it today. They deny Satan, demons, angels, etc. But Jesus never did. Jesus confronted the man and confronted the demons and cast them into swine. And swine were seen as unclean animals. And the demons who were unclean go to swine and fall, the swine perish in the water. It's interesting that clearly Christ has authority over the demonic realm. And demons are very active today, at times, maybe not in the same way, but they're busy. They're busy. And the good news is Jesus has authority over the demonic realm. This is what we're reading here in Mark. And he's able, by his word, to command these demons to go out of the man. And it's interesting, Matthew has a parallel account, and I'm reading it as well. And when he was come to the other side of the country of the Gadarenes, there met him two possessed with devils coming forth, or coming out. Some want to find a discrepancy here in that in two, here we had one in the other. But this is really not a discrepancy. It's my understanding, along with many other conservative writers, conservative teachers, that the most dominant one is in the view of Mark, where Matthew, there were indeed two. So as we read on, two possessed with devils coming forth out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man could pass by that way. And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with you, you Son of God? Are you come to torment us before the time? The demons knew that they were going to be judged. And have you come to torment us before the time? In other words, the reality of judgment they knew about. There is a reality of judgment for demons and Satan. The book of Revelation talks about that. And they were aware of that. So as we continue, now there was afar off from them a herd of many swine feeding. And the devils besought him, saying, If you cast us out, send us away into the herd of swine. And he said unto them, Go. And they went out and went into the swine. And behold, the whole herd rushed down the steep into the sea and perished in the waters. And they that fed them fled. Notice the terror of even those that fled them, and went away into the city and told everything and what had happened to them that were possessed with demons. And behold, all the city came out to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they besought him or asked him that he would depart from their borders. Notice again, there is fear, but Jesus is the one who is the king over all. and he is commanding the demons, and they are responding to him as the Lord. Demons at one time were angels, fallen angels, the Bible teaches. And so they were created in the beginning by Jesus, but they fell. And so Jesus now is judging them and sending them into the herd of swine. In Luke 8, it reads, verse 26 to 39, looking at the parallel harmony. And they arrived at the country of the Gerasenes, which is over against Galilee. And when he was come forth upon the land, there met him a certain man out of the city. Now we're back to probably the dominant man out of the city. There met him a certain man who had devils or demons, and for a long time he had worn no clothes, and abode not in any house, but in the tombs. The tombs were often the cemeteries where the demons uh, dwelt, the New Testament teaches. And when he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, What have I to do with you, Jesus, you Son of the Most High God? I beseech you, torment me not. In other words, they knew Jesus. They knew he was the Son of the Most High God. And what they're saying, or what this man is saying, the demons in the man, I should say, what they're saying, don't torment me. For he commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For often, at times, it had seized him, and he was kept under guard, and bound with chains and fetters. And breaking the bands asunder, he was driven out of the devil into the deserts. And he was driven of the devil into the deserts, speaking of this man. And Jesus said to him, What is your name? And he said, Legion. In other words, for we are many, or many devils were entered into him. And they entreated him that he would not command them to depart into the abyss. In other words, they knew again that they were under God's judgment, that Christ was their judge. They knew that. Now there was there a herd of many swine feeding in the mountain, and they entreated him or asked him that he would give them leave to enter into them. Again, the unclean swine, they were viewed as unclean animals. So the unclean demons are permitted to enter them by the Son of Man, by Jesus, who is the sovereign, even over the demonic realm. He is the King of kings and Lord of lords. And he gave them leave, and the devils came out from the man and entered into the swine. And the herd rushed down the steep into the lake and were choked. And when they that fed them, I should say, saw what had come to pass, they fled and told it in the city and in the country. And they went out to see what had come to pass. And they came to Jesus and found the man from whom the devils were gone out, sitting, clothed, and in his right mind at the feet of Jesus. And they were afraid. Notice how Jesus brings complete healing and puts the man now back into his right mind by casting out this herd of demons, or many demons. And they that saw it told how he that was possessed with demons was made whole. And all the people of the country of the Gerasenes round about asked him to depart from them, for they were held with great fear, or we could say had great fear, were possessed with great fear. And he entered into a boat and returned, But the man from whom the demons were gone prayed him or asked him that he might be with him, that he might go with him. But he sent him away, saying, Return to your house and declare how great things God has done for you. And he went his way, publishing throughout the whole city how great things Jesus had done for him. You know, that's what true believers are to do, who have been delivered from the power of sin and out of Satan's kingdom and translated into the kingdom of Christ. All believers are to go and share with their household, share with others the great things that Christ has wrought and worked in the lives of believers. So may we worship Jesus Christ, who has authority over the demonic realm, and he is indeed the divine Son of God, and he's coming someday as King of Kings and Lord of Lords.